Sadness. What's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite movies. And today I am back, and I will be doing a movie review on Onward, which is the latest cartoon movie from Disney Pixar. And Onward is a movie about two brothers, two uh, elves brothers who wanted to bring their father back because apparently their father died when they were really, really young. Um, and then suddenly on the younger guy, I forgot his name, Tom Holland. Tom Holland plays the younger elf, and Chris Pratt plays the older one, and together they're brothers. So Tom Holland's character, he turned 16 and he received a gift from his father, and apparently it's a magic wand, or more like a staff, and it's a manual saying you need to find this gemstone. If you put this gemstone together with the wand, you can actually bring me back, but this only happens before sunset. After sunset, when the sky turns dark, it can never happen again. So two brothers, Tom Holland and Chris Pratt, they decided to go on a journey, a magical, wondrous journey to find that gem, find the Phoenix gem, put it on the wand, and bring their father back for like a few minutes. And this story takes place in the modern times where people drive, where people have smartphones and all that stuff. It takes place in the modern world. But the catch is that this world used to be magical. It used to be full of weird, crazy fantasy stuff like centaurs and elves and spirits and dragons and whatever's. But everyone just seemed to have forgotten about it. But not Chris Pratt's character. Chris Pratt's character is basically nerd, a huge nerd who loves magic, who loves history, and sort of learns them by playing these card games. And Tom Holland's character, he doesn't believe in any of that magic stuff until he realized that it's real, and he has a gift for performing magic. So together, Tom Holland and Chris Pratt together, one person knows magic and the other person has a gift for magic. So together, they sort of work together, cooperate, and find the gemstone. And in a sense, this is basically Full Metal Alchemist, the Disney movie. uh, yeah, kinda. Yeah, this is kinda like Full Metal Alchemist, but sort of the more predictable American version, the more child-friendly version as well. And that's pretty much it. Now, this movie kind of surprised me. It's not as bad as I expected it to be. I thought it's going to be one really generic, boring, cringy Disney movie, but actually it's not that bad. Actually, this movie is packed with very fun, memorable moments. And I think what really bogs this movie down is its premise, because even though the world, it used to be magical, it used to be quite crazy and strange, but still, this movie, the story fails to bring back any of those elements and sort of elevate them. It just sort of references to them with without any connection whatsoever, and it just feels kind of out of the place, and it feels really, really gimmicky. And other than that, I think this movie is just incredibly predictable. Whenever a scene starts, you can already immediately tell how a scene's going to end. Like, they're going to hint in the fact that, oh, the brothers, they seem to be succeeding, and of course it's gonna build up to one accidental oopsie, and then at the end somehow they're gonna still make it for some reason. It always happens like this. Or when Tom Holland's character still didn't believe in the magic stuff and he's like very pissed and he's alone in the room, of course some magical stuff is gonna happen and then he's gonna be convinced suddenly. It's just how story used to work. Another thing with this movie is that it just doesn't have any interesting characters at all. Tom Holland's character and Chris Pratt's character, while their acting is good, they just don't have any chemistry. They just don't. And there are not really any interesting characters. There's this manticore character who's supposed to be this very important, powerful, magical creature, and she just became a waiter in this tavern restaurant, which is weird because given that there is a lot of history and lore surrounding this person or this creature, you'd think that uh, she's probably really old, or maybe she's already gone. But no, she's still here serving food. Like, how old is she even? Like a few hundred years old? One minor complaint I have with this movie is that uh, Disney is beginning to include more LGBTQ characters in their movies. That's cool, that is great, that is fantastic. Except the way they include it is so little, it's so insignificant. It's actually kind of underwhelming. And the reason why they're doing this is because so that when this movie gets released in China or in Russia, they can just edit that bit out and this will not affect the movie at all. So it's just this very lame, haha, LGBTQ inclusion, or is it, kind of thing, and it's just very lame. Also, I guess another complaint I have with this movie is that it just packs so much into 100 minutes. There's just so many things that's going on. Like, again, we have we gotta find our dad. We need to get the Phoenix Gem and make dad appear again. And then there's the Tom Holland and Chris Pratt not liking one another, but they slowly begin to bond with one another thing. And then there's the Manticore thing where, oh, she's just a waitress serving food, but actually she used to be a very powerful creature, so she's beginning to realize her own powers again. And then there's so many other things like the brother's mom's boyfriend, aka their stepdad, trying to stop them. There's just so much going on, and while this movie, yeah, I guess it's not as rushed as I thought it would be. But still, if this movie is a tad little longer, maybe it can explore all these themes a little bit more in depth. But anyways, let's talk about the pros in this movie. First of all, it's a lot of fun. This movie is fun. Not gonna lie, kids are going to love this. There are many scenes where the brothers, they have to solve a certain problem, maybe a puzzle, maybe just a trouble that they got themselves into, and they sort of need to use magic to get themselves out of the trouble. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, not gonna lie. Other than that, as always with Pixar movies, the animation is really good. The music is just okay. It's your average Disney Pixar, woo, magic music. But the animation is really good. You have to admit that. And then up next we have the family dynamic. I really like the family dynamic. Like, oh, at the end of the day, brothers, they love each other. They work together. They love their father, and they have respect for their mother as well. But at the same time, they forgive their stepdad and accept him. And the family dynamic, it's a good message overall. And also, I know it's really weird to say this, but I actually like the ending. A lot of people seem to dislike the ending of the movie because it's not that climactic. Like, after they went through all this stuff, they went through this whole journey just solving puzzles, and it just leads them back to like their high school, and then the conclusion of the climax is very underwhelming. You didn't even get to see the climax up close. But I actually like it. In a sense, it feels real, because usually in real life, when something climactic happens, chances are you're not going to be there to see it. And I think it's just really realistic. And also, movies, they don't have to have an extremely satisfying climax. Sometimes you have to force yourself to appreciate what you have. So I actually kind of like this ending. I have a thing for unsatisfying endings. That's why I really love, the ending to Inception, the ending to Prisoners, and I also really like the ending to this movie. But yeah, overall, I don't think it's a very great movie. Neither do I think it's that bad of a movie. The plot, it's good. It's well written. A lot of the scenes, there are a lot of callbacks, like the whole flight thing. Again, the Manticore. She used to be a really powerful creature. She used to be able to fly, but it wasn't until she accidentally sees some flying people or flying fairies. Not really fairies. They're like they're a bike gang, and she was like, oh, maybe I can fly too. But yeah, the bike gang, those characters, they're completely unrelated to the overall theme or the plot of the story. They're really annoying, and I don't want them here. I don't want them in the movie. Get them out of here. But yeah, overall, the plot is good. But what really bogs down this movie is its premise. It just doesn't quite utilize the whole magical aspect of the world really well, and I just don't think the characters are really that good. And overall, it's just a pretty average, by the numbers Disney movie because it's just so predictable. And I guess I'm just gonna leave it at that. I am saying Onward is meh, and I'm giving it a strong 6, maybe to a light 7 out of 10. Light 7. Here you go, light 7. So, have you watched Onward? From 1 to 10, how much did you rate it? Like if you like it, and subscribe if you want more. And thanks for watching.